Hey guys, Techmaster here, and today we are back with a review of the Samsung Galaxy S25. So, without further ado, let's get started. So, as you can see here is the phone in all its glory. As you can probably also see, this phone is minuscule. So, it is only 6.2 inches, which is just about enough to use comfortably with one hand if you have big hands. But as you can see, this display is borderless. It has almost no bezels at all, and it shows you more information on the screen this way with smaller bezels than even last year, which were already pretty thin. And this is their new navy blue color, and it looked so good online, so I had to get it, and it looks even better in person. This is top three phone colors of all time. See, this is the rare occasions when a company actually tries something new, and this time it paid off. You should experiment more, phone companies. So, I mentioned in one of my older videos that I did not like the new S25 series phones. Yes, this is the box. As you can see, it looks like Samsung's printer ran out of matte black ink, so they just resort to give us this. What kind of box is this? I know I'm nitpicking here, but the color on this is just so bad. Couldn't they have given us a darker black like we had in older boxes, like the S23 FE I showed you? That black was so much better than this, but whatever. So I also got a clear case. I don't regularly go for clear cases like this, but because the color and the phone itself are so pretty, I just decided that it would be a waste not to show off this phone's color. So yeah, and it's also MagSafe compatible. So like I showed in one of my older videos, this is a 1 terabyte Lexar SSD, which actually attaches by a cable, but you can mount it to the back of your phone or tablet with a MagSafe case. And yep, not the strongest magnets, but will do the job. See, I think the problem is because this MagSafe ring is so awkwardly placed, the cameras just interfere with the connection. So it will work with MagSafe's accessories, just need to be a bit smaller than what I have here. Anyways, so let's talk my favorite part, and I think one of the most crucial factors in deciding what phone to get for you, the specs. So as I mentioned before, this screen is an absolutely beautiful 6.2-inch dynamic AMOLED 2X panel with FHD plus, sorry, Quad HD plus resolution. I'm confusing with the S24 from last year because that thing had 1080p resolution, also known as FHD, but this has a Quad HD resolution like its older siblings, which is 1440p. Not as much as your eyes can distinguish, but it's cool. It's nice to have. Anyways, it goes up to 120 hertz refresh rate with LTPO technology, meaning it can scale back its refresh rate to 1 hertz, down to 1 hertz when you're watching something fairly static, all the way to 120 hertz when you're gaming or watching a video or whatever. So it also has 2600 nits of peak brightness, which is quite a bit brighter than last year, and you're not gonna notice it when you're indoors like I am, but if you're someone that goes outside a lot, then obviously the anti-reflective display of the ultra models will be better, but this brightness will definitely help. See, this is how bright it gets. My eyes are hurting looking at this. Anyways, so it's actually pretty slim and light. Its thickness is only 7.2 millimeters and it weighs just over 162 grams, which is so light it feels like I'm gripping nothing. Well, without the case, obviously. So, obviously, without the case, I can also reach around fully, which is something that I can't do on any other phone. This is the most smallest phone I've ever had. So, yeah. It has armor aluminum on the sides and the frame, and on the back and the front, it has Gorilla Glass Victus 2, which is like one of the most strongest glasses out there, and it has IP68 water and dust resistance, which means that even if you're throwing in the lake or the ocean, I wouldn't recommend throwing in the ocean, but if you have some freshwater stuff like a bathtub or a lake, then this thing is gonna be fine for a couple hours. I mean, half an hour to be exact. But yeah. So is sporting the custom Snapdragon 8 Elite for Galaxy, meaning it has one of the best performances that you're gonna get on any phone. The chipset is 3 nanometers, meaning it's gonna be like super modern and tiny. So yeah, there's that. This chip is also very battery efficient. During my testing, this phone lasted me 8 hours, which is just insane for a phone that only has a 4,000 milliamp hour battery. So there's that as well. It's actually insane battery life, which is due to chip, better thermals, and better optimization from Samsung. So it has 12 gigabytes of RAM, but there's an 8 gigabyte version as well. It goes up to 512 gigabytes. It has 128 gigabytes as the base model. It has 128 gigabytes as the base model with 8 gigabytes of RAM. And it also has a 256 gigabyte version with 8 GB RAM. And it also has a 256 gigabytes version with 12 gigabytes of RAM, which is kind of weird, to be honest. Why would you have two versions of the exact same phone? But whatever. The one I have here is a top spec variant, 512 gigabytes of storage with 12 gigabytes of RAM. Bit overkill, but this is the only one I could find. So this one I have here is dual SIM, but you will find some single SIM options as well as eSIM options. Sorry for that, guys. So as I was saying, I could only find this phone in the 512 gigabyte variant, and it supports dual SIM as well as single SIM in some variants as well, and eSIM in some variants as well. But no matter what you get, what type of S25 you get, you're not gonna get a micro SD card slot. Samsung removed that in its phones after its flagship phones after the I think Note 20 series, and you're only gonna find them on their A series or budget series or their tablets. So pretty sad about that. So it has 3 cameras, as you can see here. This main one is a 50 megapixel wide angle camera, and it has 12 megapixel ultra wide, as you can see here, and also a 10 megapixel telephoto with 3 times optical zoom. So it's gonna be okay-ish, not the best cameras, but pretty decent. So on the front here, it has a 12 megapixel main selfie camera capable of 4K 30 FPS or even 60 FPS video. So that's great in my opinion. And as I mentioned before, it has 4,000 milliamp hours and around 8 to 9 hours of screen on time in my detailed testing with different tasks, like not just video playback, some gaming, some video, etc. So it has 25-watt fast charging, which is pretty good for that smaller phone, and it supports wireless charging at 15 watts, Qi 1, not Qi 2, unfortunately. So it ships with Android 15 and One UI 7, but hopefully in a few days it's going to be upgradable to Android 16 and One UI 8, and includes all the latest Galaxy AI features like circular search, Gemini Live, etc. Sorry, give me a sec. Let me show you. Because this is their flagship variant, obviously it boots up very fast. Because, with past Samsung phones and tablets, I have an issue when I just restarted the phone. It's a bit slow, but no problems with this one. If you can hold down the power button, then you can circle anything you want, and it'll just tell you. Circle search. Sorry, my net is not working. Just ignore that, it works. Anyway, so it has 5G support with Wi-Fi 7 as well, and in the hotspot section, you can see if I go to my hotspot, then what I can do over here is I can actually just change my band to 6 gigahertz, but I wouldn't recommend that because most devices can't support it yet. So it has Bluetooth 5.4 and also NFC, so you can do non-contact payments, go to the gym, etc. And USB 3.2, which is kind of sad. I think it's time for an upgrade. Like USB 4.0 would have been nice, but this is all you need, nothing you don't. And it has stereo speakers with an option in the settings to turn on Dolby Atmos, which is going to be pretty decent. And yeah, so it is mostly similar to its last year counterpart, the S24, but with a few minor upgrades. Who would I recommend this phone to? I would recommend if you upgrade frequently, like every 2 years something, then upgrade to this by all means from your S23 or older. But if you have an S24, then probably skip this phone unless you want the really best of the best. because that has an 8 Gen 3 and this has an 8 Elite. There's obviously a generational leap in there, but unless you're one of the most hardcore gamers or techies, then you don't need the latest and greatest. So if you have a 23 or 24, stick with it. Older, get this phone. Especially if you like compact beasts. Techmaster signing off. Bye.